Tuesday Live, analytical, in-depth, educative and interactive on national issues accommodating all sides of opinions.
We as a people have understood that we have to fight corruption before it fights us back.
Poverty has a financial index, so it should be fought also with a financial weapon. Give it to the social investments program. It has been a very courageous battle.
Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
We want to talk about rights, there are obligations. I'm not saying that this government is a saint, it's very far from it. But there are things that we can do to make it better, and that's the challenge I'm throwing to you. You don't want to build this nation? I don't know where else you want to go. If I had a choice, I'll come back. When I stand outside and I hear what you have to say about this country that I know that I can die for as one, then I'm really sad because you're young. You have education. You have tools. You have a huge future ahead of you. And you're condemning yourself before you started on that journey. So please don't do that. Please don't.
This vaccine is safe and it has been certified safe and usable by NAFTA.
Hello and welcome to Strictly Speaking. We're looking at the English language, the way we write, the way we speak, and the words we choose.
We have to come to the realization that we need help. A lot of people, or a lot of my clients who come to me, don't even want to be seen with me.
But it's not a failing. That's what people don't seem to get.
Speak the right words. Think the right thoughts, because the good book says, as a man thinketh, so is he.
If you look at the African language, it is tonal. So many of our languages are tonal.
Absolutely.
And you hear it when the people talk.
Did you get to see the way Daily Babadu pulls this? Don't forget to send in your messages.
There's a difference between picking, child, and issue. The idea.
We are growing the stock and quality of our roads, rail, air, and water transport infrastructure.
President Buhari gives timeline for completion of legacy projects as he opens mid-term ministerial retreat. You have done well. House of Representatives thumbs up President Buhari's efforts at cleaning up Ogoni oil spill.
Facility that is very, very beautiful, which APREP is using to make sure that water gets to the people of Eleme.
It is the day of Girl Child and what a time some have heard as Nigeria marks it with different activities, decisions and policies.
Girls are futures of tomorrow. We are mother. We are meant to be strong. We are meant to be great.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to NTA Network News. We are live in Abuja. I am Kenan Ima Abodike. Adeola Komiakere will be joining us from our Lagos studio. The federal government is reassuring Nigerians that the second Niger Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and other legacy projects under the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund will be completed and put to use within the second term of this administration. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the assurance at the opening of his two-day mid-term ministerial performance review retreat. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
The retreat, organized for ministers, permanent secretaries, and top government functionaries, has as its theme enhancing security, fighting corruption, and transforming the economy. Third in the series, the interactive engagement is designed to review the performance of ministers in the execution of programs and projects assigned to them upon appointment in 2019, identify key impediments, and re-strategize on how to accelerate delivery of results given the current economic situation.
This is intended to harness our collective contributions towards generating practicable solutions that will guarantee the level of impact we can be proud of by the end of our tenure.
President Muhammadu Buhari is delighted that the tradition of subjecting government policies and programs to independent and critical self-review has taken firm roots.
These steps have helped to identify and strengthen weak areas, close gaps, as well as build cohesion and synergy in governance to manage the economy and improve the delivery of public goods and services to Nigerians. Ministers are urged to work closely with permanent secretaries to ensure accelerated and effective delivery of the policies, programs, and projects in their respective priority areas. All issues relating to the implementation of the ministerial mandates must be taken seriously towards the attainment of the laudable objectives of our government.
Government's notable achievements in the areas of infrastructure, transportation, economy, electricity supply, the petroleum industry, amongst others, were highlighted by the President.
Some of the notable achievements include the establishment of Infraco PLC in 2020 as a world-class infrastructure development vehicle wholly focused on Nigeria, with combined debt and equity take-up capital of 15 trillion naira. We are growing the stock and quality of our roads, rail, air, and water transport infrastructure. The Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund projects are also advancing remarkably. These include Second Niger Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano Expressway, and the East-West Road to be completed within the second term of our administration.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has been directed to consolidate efforts at strengthening the work of the delivery unit under his coordination towards ensuring the effective implementation of policies, programs, and projects in the last lap of this administration.
Efforts are also being made to empower the youth and other vulnerable groups by enhancing investments in our social intervention programs. I have approved the expansion of the National Social Register by 1 million additional households. We have established the 75 billion naira Nigerian Youth Investment Fund to unleash the potential of the youth and to enable them to build businesses that will stimulate economic growth and create jobs.
During the opening ceremony, the Presidential Priorities Performance Management System, aimed at tracking projects in real time and with live data, has been unveiled by the President. In view of the importance government attaches to the retreat, President Muhammadu Buhari promised to sit all through the sessions lasting 2 days to listen to the cumulative assessment of his administration's performance. He will also join the discussions on best strategies to implement planned policies, programs, and projects that can significantly diversify the economy and sustain the current economic growth trajectory. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says with commitment and determination, Nigeria is taking stable steps in surmounting the various challenges affecting the economy and its winning. The Vice President at the ongoing midterm ministerial performance review retreat in Abuja says the administration's economic sustainability plan, which he chairs, has performed creditably, keeping the economy above recession. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
At the end of 2019, the economy was looking very good, with 4 quarters of consecutive GDP growth and all the macroeconomic fundamentals looked excellent, moving on to much faster growth. Then, the unexpected stroke, COVID-19 bringing the world economy on its knees. The effect too enormous to recount, but with the introduction of the Economic Sustainability Plan as a response to the fallout of the pandemic, things are beginning to get better, as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says.
Inflation has trended downward over the past 5 months, falling to about 17% during the second quarter of this year, although food inflation, as you know, is still very troubling, and food production and supply has been affected by security challenges. GDP growth performance in the second quarter of this year has been a highlight, with an increase of 5% year on year, the highest since 2015. And I think that this is certainly worth celebrating. Transportation has rebounded to positive growth, 77%. Hospitality, 2%, and that's from negative. Real estate from 40% down to 4%. Trade from about 17% down now to 23%. Construction from 40% down to 4% now.
The challenges are still enormous, which the Vice President highlights.
The last GDP report presented by the Honourable Minister of Finance also highlighted major challenges to the economy. Of course, unemployment heading for over almost 40%, and loss of jobs since 2018, dwindling oil revenues, and dwindling on account of production, poor foreign investment inflows, both FDI and FPIs, largely due to exchange rate concerns and uncertainty around the repatriation of profits and security concerns. Now, I think that many of these problems are completely resolvable. I do not think that they constitute any significant, difficulty that we cannot resolve. But I think that one of the most important things is that there must be synergy between the fiscal and the monetary authority. That is absolutely crucial.
As experts observed, the nation has never lacked ideas of how to solve problems. Implementation and monitoring have always been the challenge. This is what organizers say the retreat is set out to address. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the African Development Bank is of the view that with progress being made in the recovery process, Nigeria's economic growth plan or rate will rebound to firmer footing. President of the bank, Akiwumi Adesina, made the assertion at the mid-term ministerial performance review retreat in Abuja. Benny Adams has the report.
Nigeria is part of a global mix that is applying all measures to not only survive the COVID-19 onslaught on the economy, but also recover and return to prosperous ways. To achieve this, President of the African Development Bank, Akiwumi Adesina, is of the view that Nigeria needs to explore every revenue opportunity in the non-oil sector while investing in infrastructure and financial innovations.
A young, productive, youthful population with access to education, skills, social protection, affordable housing, and medical care will power Nigeria's economy now and well into the future.
To help the recovery process in Africa, Adesina says the bank has launched a $10 billion crisis response facility with a $289 million in budget support to Nigeria. This is in addition to a $3 billion in support of local pharmaceutical industries in Africa, with Nigeria having a fair share. He says, with adequate investment in the digital economy and the agri-value chain, a growth rate of 2.4% this year and a 2.9% by 2022 is possible. Benny Adams, NTA News.
Now, away from the mid-term ministerial performance review retreat, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation says it will continue to investigate and prosecute directors and bank officers found capable of committing banking malpractice and other frauds, which led to the demise of banks as provided by NDIC Act 2006, Failed Banks Act 2004, and other relevant laws. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer NDIC, Bello Hassan, said this in Abuja, Ogun State, at a capacity building workshop for law enforcement agencies. Leko Abonde reports.
The workshop is targeted at sharing ideas with law enforcement agencies to achieve seamless banking operations and also to enhance the skills of the operators in the discharge of their responsibility.
For us as supervisors, what we advise the banks is to strengthen their internal control and also make sure they do proper background checks when they are employing staff, so as to ensure that they employ people that are fit and proper to work within the banking system.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says the commission has convicted some directors and officers found guilty of banking malpractice and called on NDIC to map out more strategies in sanitizing the Nigerian banking sector.
We have all witnessed what happened during the banking crisis in the recent past, so we should now use this opportunity to look at what currently is being done right and to continue doing that to enable us not to witness any other crisis in our banking sector.
The workshop, which had participants drawn from the Central Bank of Nigeria, Federal Ministry of Justice, EFCC, FMIE, among others, dwelt extensively on types and nature of frauds in banks and other financial institutions. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
In the power sector, huge investment is expected in 2022 as federal government proposes more than 300 billion naira for the sector. Joshua Ojito reports on some of the priority projects for the sector next year.
For 2022, 301.257 billion naira is allocated for the power sector. Among projects that will receive attention include Rural Electrification Access Program in federal universities at the cost of 1.25 billion naira, while 114 billion naira will be expended on the completion of renewable energy projects nationwide. 220.5 billion naira for multilateral and bilateral funded projects like Sungeru, Abuja Power Feeding Scheme, and Transmission Access Projects.
The President have done enough in investment in brownfield on the transmission grid infrastructure for, grid improvement package. This is the first time that we are seeing genuine intervention.
Mambila Hydroelectric Power Project is receiving attention in the 2022 appropriation bill, with 200 million naira counterpart fund to be injected into the project.
Very wonderful. Our people are prepared. We've already sensitized them on the need for the project.
Also captured in the 2022 appropriation bill is Kashimbila Transmission Project and 430 million naira for the construction of 215 gas power stations in Kaduna, while 1 billion naira is appropriated for the distribution expansion project to utilize stranded power from the grid. Expectations are high among electricity customers that the investment in the sector will translate to improved power supply in the country. In Abuja, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. Let's go on break. Do stay with us.
Everybody want enjoy. Everybody want
sensational world of love, now accessible through one code, *777#.
The federal government, through NPHCDA, commenced Phase 2 vaccination of all persons 18 years and above with safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines approved by WHO and certified by NAFDAC. Special arrangement has been made for staff, their dependents and retirees of ministries, departments and agencies of government, private corporate organizations and non-governmental organizations. To benefit from this special arrangement, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng/corporate vaccination/ to obtain, fill and submit the Google form. NPHCDA will contact you within 48 hours. Protect yourself, your family and your workplace against COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are free, safe and effective. For further inquiries, call 0700-220-1122 or send a mail to covid19.vaccination@nphcda.gov.ng. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Hey there, what's on your bucket list? Would you like to travel the world, live your best life? What if I told you you could blow right this minute and do everything on that list? Airtel is saying thank you to all loyal customers. You stand a chance to win up to 100 million naira with guaranteed cash tokens in the Airtel Recharge and Blow promo. How awesome is that? All you have to do is recharge to win. For more information, dial *444*4# to enter for the draw. Everyone's a winner, so hurry now. The more you recharge, the more you win.
Airtel, the smartphone network. In continuation of the ongoing zonal public hearing involving all state executives, legislature and judicial officers, local government chairmen and officials, civil society groups, organized labor, elder statesmen, traditional rulers and the general public on the review of the revenue allocation formula across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission wishes to announce a slight change in dates for the remaining zones as follows. Southeastern State Zonal Hearing. Host, Imo State. Dates 13th and 14th October 2021. North Central States Zonal Hearing. Host, Kogi State. Dates 18th and 19th October 2021. Northeastern States Zonal Hearing. Host, Gombe State. Dates 21st and 22nd October 2021. Northwestern State Zonal Hearing. Host, Kaduna State. Dates 25th and 26th October 2021. FCT. Date 28th October 2021. All stakeholders are expected to effectively participate in the process and to submit 5 hard copies of their memoranda in addition to the soft copy on the proposed review to the Secretary of the Commission on phone number 0803-562-4400 before or during the public hearing. All memoranda should contain the contact address and telephone numbers of the authors. Signed, Management.
I dey look for pension fund administrator. We soft, make sense, we care for me. Shy. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. Oh no. The brand is sure them no go stress you. Call them then they accessible. Yes, customer care where they on point. No go regret when you try, of course. Profitable investment. Everything is just a blend. If you want it good for you, my guy, make you choose premium pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Unity and rebranding Nigeria is a dream shared by all. You are all invited at the pre-launch roadshow in preparation of launching of peace, unity, and rebranding Nigeria. Powered by Ambassador of Voice for Change Nigeria and supported by FCTA and NTA. Date 12th October 2021. Time 8 a.m. Meeting point at Ego Square, Abuja, Nigeria.
Brought to you by the ambassadors of Voice for Change Nigeria.
Welcome back as Musa Abubakar now brings us business news.
Thank you, Kenneth. World Bank President David Malpass says accelerating vaccination and addressing poverty is key to avoiding lost decade and boosting inclusive and sustainable growth for developing countries. He said this at the opening of World Bank Group 2021 annual meetings. The World Bank President urged developing countries to ensure economic stability, leverage digital revolution, make development greener and sustainable, as well as upscale investment in people. He said GDP will return to pre-pandemic levels in many emerging and developing economies, but per capita income will take more time. The World Bank had forecasted that global growth is set to reach 5.2% in 2021, the strongest post-recession pace in 80 years. And out of stock, it's a negative close for the equities market. The all-share index fell 0.38% to close 40,714 basis points. 191.3 million shares worth 2.5 billion naira exchange hands in 4,395 deals, and market capitalization at 21.2 trillion naira. MBN Holdings, EcoBank Transnational Incorporated, and Champs PLC are the most traded shares at the end of the day's transaction. That's business news. It's back to you, Kenny.
Thank you very much, Musa. Now, the federal government is making concrete efforts to tackle inequality in education while providing a conducive and safe school environment for all. This commitment was expressed at a workshop in commemoration of the International Day of the Girl Child by Director General, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, on behalf of the Vice President. Victor Azu reports that the workshop was put together by the Malala Fund, Nigeria.
Statistics indicate that Nigeria accounts for more than 10 million out-of-school children. Of this lot, nearly 2 out of 3, about 6.34 million, are said to be girls. 24-year-olds Victoria Chimbaka and Amina Yusuf suggest that the situation has become worse in parts of the north due to insurgency.
We have to be running and leave our houses, go and be sleeping on top mountain.
In my community, not everyone supports girls' education because they believe that girls will get married.
We therefore demand that decision makers take immediate steps to provide alternatives.
It's a situation the government says it is already addressing.
In 2020, the Federal Executive Council approved a World Bank credit facility in the sum of $500 million. We see you, we hear you. We're here to support you in every way we can.
Amina, Victoria, and other girls can rest assured that the future will be better for them. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Administrative activities at the top offices in the Ministries of Women Affairs and Education temporarily took different shapes as 3 teenage girls assumed positions as ministers and Executive Secretary of UBEC to commemorate the 2021 International Day of the Girl Child. Ngozi Silva Technicure reports.
We serve for today as the Honorable Minister of State for Education. Please be seated.
That handover ceremony by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, signals the commencement of 12-year-old Nana Bashir as Minister of Women Affairs, while 14-year-old Dorcas Joshua as the Minister of State for Education. Among other commitments to address the challenges facing the education of the girl child in Nigeria, they gave their pledges.
Ensure school connectivity to internet with modern facilities for all Nigerian children.
I will ensure that the parents send their children to school.
I'm making sure that there is a maximum of 2 kilometers distance from a child's home to a school in their area.
The celebration of the Day of the Girl Child, which revolves on the digital generation, not without girls, climaxed with a policy dialogue where stakeholders emphasize on an all-inclusive approach to address issues of digital gender gap, early marriage, girls' enrollment, and transition to secondary education.
Our President Muhammadu Buhari's administration as a sure way to growth and development of our economy.
The major challenge in the country, among others, is the basic education provision, because that is the basis for the country's development.
30 minutes, Minister. Huge task, and they lived up to expectation. Major decisions taken, a great sense of belonging also fulfilled. Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
Parental guidance, qualitative education, and improved security are the demands of the Nigerian child as the world celebrates the 2021 International Day of the Girl Child. Elizabeth Omori has a compilation of the celebration.
On the 19th of December 2011, the United Nations General Assembly adopted Resolution 66 of 170 as the International Day of the Girl Child, to recognize girls' rights and the unique challenges they face around the world. Several activities characterized the day in Nigeria. In Abuja, a forum on drug abuse, personal hygiene and career choice was put together for students of Government Day Secondary School, Karu.
The girls' child, they should be trained very well. They are to be told what they are meant to do, what they are not supposed to be doing.
I expect to see girls doing things that they don't do before, I guess in different sectors in Nigeria.
Murjanatu Adam Said reports that the Tabitha Kumik Foundation also commemorated the day with out-of-school children, advocating social welfare for the girl child and protection against all forms of violence.
I would love to go to school if I can have help.
The support is gradually building up. Why we're probably hearing more about it is because the silence is being broken.
Butwa Mila reports that a cross-section of girls spent the day with medical personnel who enlightened them on reproductive health.
To you out there, I want to say to you, don't let yourself be downgraded by nobody because they didn't make you.
A lot of girls are molested, they cannot speak because of fear of being punished or fear of being sent out of school or something. But we are here to encourage them that they can always speak for themselves.
Olusheye Adeagbo also reports that the Girls' Parliament called for full integration of the girl child in digitization development through STEM education.
We, the voice of the Girls' Parliament, want to encourage more girls in STEM and to engage in tech-related skills.
Girls are now encouraged to go into this digital technology to have a grasp of how it is for them to be able to contribute their quota, which is why we also brought them out for 3 weeks now, training them on STEM to ensure that they are not left behind.
At the Africa House in Kano, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje temporarily stepped aside.
We need to enact policies that help develop the lives of our girls.
Abdullahi Mustafa reports that Governor Ganduje promised to address issues affecting the girl child. Meanwhile, the president of the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, Nawaj Ladibala, made a case for the rights, safety, and education of the girl child in Nigeria, urging government, parents, and society to tackle barriers hampering the progress of the female gender. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
And in the meantime, the Nigerian Television Authority will continue to use all of its news and current affairs programs to educate, defend, and promote issues bordering on girl-child development globally. Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, said this in a message to participants at the 2021 International Day of the Girl Child, organized by ECHO Nigeria International. And developer Rusklin Sunday reports.
15 naira. Available records from EduCeleb and UNICEF show that 38% of out-of-school children in Nigeria are girls, which represents 3.8% of the about 10.1 million of the total number of out-of-school children in the country. Here are some of their peers who are privileged to be in school. They converge to celebrate this year's International Day of the Girl Child.
When we invest in girl-child education through digital skills, acquisition, and ICT-driven education, we optimize her capacity.
Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, whom the organizers described as a champion of the female gender, was represented by the General Manager, NTA International, Oganya Simon.
Information technology provides a very unique opportunity for every girl to meet her potential as leaders and change makers who can use technology to transform not only their lives, but the world around them.
A platform, Girl Child Rights Advocacy Forum, which will run on the social media alongside the I Subscribe projects, were unveiled.
When I see girls like me, how can I feel really bad?
The girls were encouraged to embrace digital literacy as they belong to the digital generation. Adebola, Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
Away from the International Day of the Girl Child, with a clear understanding of the importance of history as a guide to future socio-economic development of any nation, a former president of the Senate, Ken Nnamani, has compiled his legislative experience in a book titled Standing Strong. Kenneth Nanim reports that Senator Nnamani rules in NTA for strategic media collaboration ahead of the public presentation of the book.
Having compiled his legislative role and that of his colleagues, Senator Ken Nnamani says the essence of his book is to keep the records straight with accurate and factual information that will guide upcoming generations on patriotism and purposeful governance. The wide reach of NTA's news coverage and the professionalism exhibited, the former president of the Senate says, compelled him to enlist the media giant's leverage.
It's not just about the constitutional amendment of 2005 to 2006, but it had to do with other things like seizing of Bakassi and some other issues in the country, which students of political history in Nigeria would like to refer to as a participant and an observer of what transpired.
Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, commended the efforts of Senator Nnamani to preserve history for posterity's sake and obliged to the solicited collaboration.
We remember the past, not because the past was pleasant. We remember the past in order not to repeat the mistakes of the past, and in order to learn from the good things of the past. This is remembering the past, with a view to not repeating the mistakes of the past and from learning from the good things that happened in the past. So, Your Excellency, NTA congratulates you, and we're very proud to be associated with a project such as this.
Both parties concord that when the book is finally presented to the public, it will serve as a veritable tool for researchers, as well as an encouragement for public office holders to document events in order to preserve history. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, has, on behalf of the management and entire workforce of NTA, congratulated the Wongwom-Jos on the attainment of 70 years. The DG noted that Da Jacob Gyang has proven over and over again that he appreciates and understands the enormous responsibilities bestowed on him as a traditional ruler, and has manifested in his commitment and devotion to the progress and well-being of not only the citizens and residents of his domain, but of the entire citizens and residents of Plateau State at large. The NTA DG prays God continues to guide, protect, and give the traditional ruler the required longevity to continue to serve him and humanity in robust health. 6 women and their 9 children from Chibok community of Borno State have been rescued from their abductors by the security forces. The abductees were presented to Governor Babagana Umar Zulum and his office at Musa Usman Secretariat, Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
The 6 women and their children are indigenous to Chibok community of Borno State. Presenting them to Governor Babagana Umara, Commissioner for Women Affairs Zohaira Gambo said, Mariam Ishaya, Rachel Simon, and Esther Ayuba along with their 5 children, were abducted in a church at Tukulasha community of Chibok local government area of Borno State on the 3rd of October 2020, while Alheri Ezekiel, Victoria Andrew, and Victoria James, together with their 4 children, were also abducted in a church at Kufure village in Hong local government area of Adamawa State on the 5th of May this year. Governor Babagana Umara commended the security operatives for rescuing the victims and further expressed optimism that all the citizens in the captivity of terrorists and other criminal elements will be rescued in no distant future.
I want to assure you that the federal government of Nigeria, under the distinguished leadership of President Buhari and indeed the Borno State government, private security agencies are doing everything possible to ensure that the remaining ones that are abducted, including those that are abducted from the Chibok school and others, are rescued.
The freed abductees will be handed over to the state leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
We now join Adela in Lagos for more reports on NTA Network News. Hello, Adela.
Hello, Kenny. The federal government is investing in the infrastructural growth of Lagos with the goal of facilitating trade and increasing employment opportunities. In this report, Michael Olaleye examines the infrastructural growth and how it is changing the spectrum of investment.
The dictum of Rome, not being built in a day, vividly fits into the persistence and steady infrastructural growth Nigeria has witnessed in more than 60 years. This is one of the major lanes on Broad Street in Lagos, and time, her healing therapy has done a lot to give a befitting facelift to buildings and structures here. Down the road are stretches of bridges expanding from a co-bridge to one of the longest in Africa, which is the third mainland bridge. But the beauty in all of this is that successful governments have played a crucial role in developing this infrastructure to its present state. The last few years have not only been dedicated to increasing the volume of road infrastructure, but maintenance and reconstruction of new ones. For instance, the 11.8-kilometer third mainland bridge underwent the removal and replacement of expansion joints, while underwater resurfacing is still ongoing.
What is of importance is the quality of work they are doing. And the quality of work we are seeing here is fantastic.
Eco Bridge also experienced the first major repairs since 1975, while the gateway to the nation's busiest seaports, the Apapa Oshodi Oworoshoki Expressway, is totally being reconstructed into a reinforced concrete pavement in a contract worth 73 billion naira.
It's total for us and everything is smoothly. Before, if you are coming from Apapa and you are going to Ojota, you spend nothing less than 4 hours. But now, you spend less than 15 minutes before you get to Ojota.
The upgrading of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to handle more pressure demonstrates the federal government's commitment to opening up investment using infrastructure. While the road network is being expanded, the resuscitation of the rail system of transportation is steadily progressing. The 156-kilometer Lagos-Ibadan rail line is already an added option to the movement of people and goods, and the testimonies are endless.
Diversification of the economy becomes more pronounced, and ease of doing business will be promoted.
The infrastructural transformation the country has experienced testifies to its rapid and courageous growth. These experts believe can only get better since the interventions are channeled towards increasing investment opportunities. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Getting the society to come to terms with Down syndrome and accept those living with the condition has been a hard-won battle over the years, but this success would only mean little until it paves way for social inclusion with commensurate support from the society. This is the new goal as local and global attention shifts to the plight of people living with Down syndrome for the year 2021. Adeniyi Taiwo reports that a free medical outreach is one of the activities marking this year's Awareness Month.
It is October, their awareness month, and they are happy as seen in their dancing steps, which move in sync with the rhythm of the beat. A disorder in their chromosomes, however, sets them apart from the rest of the world, imposing on them a lifelong disability in communication, learning, and self-sufficiency. Blessing Usamoji is the mother of 35-years-old Matthew, the last of her 7 children, and the only one living with Down syndrome.
You just have to be taking care of them as you are taking care of babies. You know what I mean? It's not easy for a parent to have children like this.
Her determination not to hide or abandon her son is receiving support from the Down Syndrome Foundation of Nigeria, where Matthew and about 39 others are learning to become functional members of the society.
That is why it's good for parents to make a move. Don't put them indoor. Let them move out. Definitely you will see support.
Some of our young adults here have been trained in different areas of vocational skills. They can do a lot of things. We have a barbing salon where they are functioning very well.
Happy that the society has moved past the practice of hiding children living with Down syndrome, Rose Modi, who is the chief promoter of the foundation, says measures must now be put in place to fast-track their social inclusion.
We are appealing now to both the federal and the states, different state governments, to move now to the next level by implementing the law, putting the right structure on ground so that law would be effective. That's the next thing that is needed.
This medical outreach is the foundation's way of awakening the world to the need to embrace and support people living with Down syndrome. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
We'll have more reports after this break. Please stay with us.
When you wake up in the morning before you start your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time. For work and for play, for a great start to your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
We always start our day with a nourishing Kellogg's breakfast, powered with the goodness of grains and 11 essential vitamins and minerals.
Is available in 90 naira only with 10% extra inside.
Our new toothpaste, Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity-free.
When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity. Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in,
keeps cavities out.
You chat, call, read, play, and listen to music. Enjoy Ayoba with MTN. Download Ayoba now.
Each journey has its purpose and tells a story. We are here to redefine yours. At Ibom Air, we are poised to bring game-changing, innovative services to you because our people are passionate, our partners are committed, and our energy is high. Fly Ibom Air to experience schedule reliability, on-time departures, and excellent services. Ibom Air, a new experience.
Give your kids winning energy. Milo Active Go. With the goodness
sweetness of malt, milk, and cocoa helps them make the most of every day. Milo, the energy to go further.
Trust the Center Fresh Liquid Food Gum to refresh your confidence instantly. Center Fresh Liquid Food Gum. Trust the freshness.
Whoa, how hot is she? Very hot. Pick me. Just pick me, baby. Come pick me, girl. Man, I'm all ready for you.
So tasty.
He's so lucky.
Mini-Me, taste the fun.
Not all washing powders are the same. Sunlight adds bursts of freshness to cleaning power to give you Sunlight 2-in-1 for sensational cleaning and freshness that lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1 sensational cleaning with burst after burst of freshness. Introducing Sunlight with luxurious oud fragrance.
When times are tough, we know that as a mother, one thing you should never compromise on is your family's oral health, because they deserve the best. Oral-B, all-round protection. Its great value, it protects your mouth from harmful bacteria and also protects you against tooth holes and gum problems which can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your family's teeth and gives them all-round protection. So remember, protect their future. Oral-B for healthier, stronger teeth in just 1 week.
Take this, Mom. You will need it.
My tongue is craving something. I wonder what it is. Twisco. That's my favorite.
Twisco chocolate drink powder is a unique blend of cocoa, milk, and malt fortified with Enofort, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that helps give kids the vitality they need for an action-packed day.
Mommy, let's drink all down.
Twisco, power your dream.
Thanks for staying with us. The ongoing remediation of oil spill affected areas of Ogoniland has been scaled up by the federal government to improve living conditions in the Niger Delta region. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the House Committee on Host Communities, during an oversight of some projects in River State, urges beneficiaries to partake in the development of initiatives.
The visit took committee members to some oil-impacted sites undergoing remediation and other livelihood support projects. Chairman of the House Committee on Host Communities, Representative Dumdeko, stressed that development projects in Ogoniland are targeted at mitigating effects of oil spill and bringing succor to residents.
In Ogoniland, because of course you are aware that most of our water is contaminated, and this one is one that we can say we commend. There's some improvement coming with the waterworks in Bori, right here in Eleme, and we can also see a facility that is very, very beautiful, which APREP is using to make sure that water gets to the people of Eleme.
The hydrocarbon remediation project HYPREP was put in place by the federal government to implement life-changing projects, and the coming into effect of the Petroleum Industry Act will further enhance its activities.
The livelihood program is also gaining very fast speed. We're going to have youths who will be trained in the various skills that they have chosen to.
The committee believes human capital development will make more stable and conducive the atmosphere in the region. Lami Ali, NTA News.
Let's go for one more break on the news.
Mid-term ministerial performance review and the milestone of Buhari administration is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, incisive and educative on NTA at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
Once upon a time, an idea was born. It grew into one institution with a master plan. Since 1989, IBTC has evolved to become Stanbic IBTC, setting the base as one of the first holding companies in Nigeria. Over the years, we've expanded beyond banking to owning formidable business subsidiaries across 10 industries, all backed up with AAA Fitch rating. With over 4,000 employees, our presence across the country is further strengthened by our efficient network of digital channels. Our dedication to the Nigerian dream has granted us recognition 44 times by 18 awarding bodies in 6 sectors. We are proud to be champions of exponential trade finance through our partnership with the largest bank in the world, facilitated across 22 sectors. Nigeria is our home, and we are committed to driving her growth. So whatever your dream is, we believe it can be. We don't like to eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. No cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic, and enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
When times are tough, we know that as a mother, one thing you should never compromise on is your family's oral health, because they deserve the best. Oral-B, all-round protection. Its great value, it protects your mouth from harmful bacteria and also protects you against tooth holes and gum problems which can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your family's teeth and gives them all-round protection. So remember, protect their future. Oral-B for healthier, stronger teeth in just 1 week.
This na the story of Pekin, wey rise to the max. Rain or shine, it not settle for less. Na the story of small boy we get big talent. Home and away. Wait o, e be like say na the story of one man wey fall, but we bounce back in style.
Osime, wetin dey motivate you? I want day big, special and great.
Watching us live from Big Brother House Studio.
Joy for Osime and his teammates and chuffed for him as well.
Make we enjoy Max Entertainment together.
Sports or movies, telenovela or cartoon, music or reality TV. With just 6,900 naira, you fit get your GoTV decoder plus 1 month Max subscription. Make you enjoy over 75 channels with for GoTV Max. Make you and your special ones enjoy better things on Max levels. GoTV, love it.
Manchester City return from the international break with a tricky tie against Burnley at the Etihad Stadium. Will they get their desired victory? Find out this Saturday when Manchester City take on Burnley on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
OPEC Secretary General Mohamed Sanusi Barkindo has described the 2021 African Refiners and Distributors Association Conference as the latest in OPEC's portfolio of high-level dialogues. The conference, with the theme Developing Africa's Downstream Energy Transition Plan, includes ongoing meetings with the European Union, China, India, Russia, and the US towards clearing contending perspectives on the energy transition. Lydia Sampson reports.
The dialogue with the African Refiners and Distributors Association is seen as a logical next step for OPEC.
The unpleasant reality is that the industry is still reeling from the devastating impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, during which investment declined by a massive 30% in 2020. This scenario of underinvestment, if it were to continue, could result in demand exceeding supply, creating heightened market volatility and an energy security risk to both producers and consumers.
The Secretary General says one cannot read a newspaper or watch the news without hearing about the impending energy transition and how countries and the energy industry might respond to this global challenge. Some extreme voices even call for discontinuation of investment in oil and gas. He reiterates that such views are both risky and unrealistic. He said, well, OPEC fully supports the need to decrease emissions and bolster innovation and enhance efficiency. that cannot come out of the cost of draining industry investment. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
Now, sports updates with Tamara Ebiwe.
Thank you, Kene. Welcome to Sports Update. The Maiden-Chief of Defense Staff Organization of Military Sports in Africa, Sahel Games, got underway Monday at the Aguiyi Ironsin Sports Stadium, Abuja, with participants from 10 African countries. Chief of Defense Staff, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation were among dignitaries at the opening ceremony.
This, of course, event is tagged Sporting for Peace and Stability. We believe that through sports, that friendship can be fostered.
The seed we are planting today will grow into a tree that will help us, to solve many of the problems confronting our continent.
It's a very strong message we are sending to those that can think the Sahel country cannot be together, cannot come together, cannot cooperate, cannot live in peace. We are going to live in peace, and this is just, as the Honorable Minister have said, it's just the beginning.
Nigeria faced Mali in the opening football match on a Tuesday. This year's NYC Sports Festival kicked off on Monday at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, says it is aimed at exploring the potentials of the youth and also promote unity.
The FIESA contributes to the nation's strides in sports development with the attendant benefits for physical and health development, social integration, peace building, among others, while it also helps the youth to appreciate our cultural diversities.
Helping the players to develop right from the grassroots level. And I think it's one of the things that the NYC is trying to build on.
And that's the sports update. Back to Kenny.
Thank you, Tamara. And of course, Sports Updates brings us to the end of NTA Network's news tonight. Thanks indeed for watching. Of course, NTA is still fighting rape and the rapists. Endeavor to join us. My name is Kenneth Ima Abodike. Good night.
NTA Tuesday Live, analytical, in-depth, educative and interactive on national issues accommodating all sides of opinions.
We as a people have understood that we have to fight corruption before it fights us back.
Poverty has a financial index, so it should be fought also with a financial weapon. Give it to the social investments program. It has been a very courageous battle.
Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
This is the network service of the NTA.
We should understand that the well-being and the security of this country is the paramount to any government. Prior to now, we are doing more of defensive activities to protect our bases and fight the war when we are challenged or when an objective is attacked. But right now, what we do is to carry the battle into areas where the banditries or the Boko Harams or whatever. The Nigerian Army has brought into its platforms the BT tanks, main battle tanks, helicopters, Augusta 135, the MiG helicopters, which can operate even in the night, the Super Tucanos that are about to be launched.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The League of Women Voters of Nigeria, NILOV, is an all-female NGO of women uplifting other women. NILOV, founded by Dr. Dame Esther Adwehi, is a non-political and non-partisan organization whose aim is to empower women economically and politically for a more perfect democracy. Some of our dedicated members passionate about the education of the girl child and empowerment of women include former Minister of Industries, Chief Mrs. Nike Akonde, first female MD, Bank of Industry, Ms. Evelyn Oputu, former two-time Minister and Ambassador Dr. Kema Chikwe, Hajia Ina Chiroma, former Ministers of Women's Affairs, Senator Stella Omu and Iyom Joseph Aneni, Senator Daisy Danjuma, former Permanent Secretary and Head of the Service, Ms. Amma Pepple. Let's join these distinguished women and others like Senator Biodun Olujimi, Senator Uche Ekonife, Right Honorable Felicia Bassi, Honorable Chinwe Mornu, Dr. Rosalind Okosu, Dr. Regina Omog Agege, and others. NILOV, women lifting other women. NILOV, together we can.
Manchester City return from the international break with a tricky tie against Burnley at the Etihad Stadium. Will they get their desired victory? Find out this Saturday when Manchester City take on Burnley on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Sake change, so must we. That the new time requires new response to new challenges.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Welcome to another edition of the program As You Answer the Call. Nigeria is making steady progress towards containing the deadly COVID-19 disease. Support this effort by respecting the COVID protocols and availing yourself for vaccination. Once again, welcome to the program As You Answer the Call. I am Bintu Magaji, a regular host on the program. In our series highlighting the relationship between the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, and its relevant stakeholders, tonight in our Spotlight segment, we're focusing on how NACON and the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, have been working together for the successful digitization of Hajj affairs. Also in the program, we have our regular segments such as the NACON News Diary, which features the activities of NACON chairman, key functionaries of the commission, and other stakeholders. These are more shortly. Keep watching.
Every Muslim is a potential pilgrim. To make the Hajj possible for the Ummah, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, is running a Hajj savings scheme through Jaiz Bank. The scheme allows depositors to gradually save for the Hajj over a period of time. Registration into the Hajj savings scheme is ongoing for all Muslims. Muslims wishing to perform Hajj can be enrolled into the scheme through the following outlets: NACON offices across the country, state pilgrims welfare boards, agencies and commissions, any branch of Jaiz Bank in the country. Enrollment can also be done directly by logging into dedicated sites for the scheme. Let's participate and support the Hajj Savings Scheme for better Hajj services.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin the program with a news diary as presented from our studio. This was the old reception of the Hajj House. As part of NACON plans to give the Hajj House a befitting facelift, the Commission awarded a contract for the renovation of the reception. And so, consistent with the contractual agreement, the renovation work has been completed, with NACON Chairman Alhaji Zikrullah Kule Hassan unveiling it on Tuesday, the 5th of October, 2021.
And may be the opening of better things to come. Inshallah. Bismillah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Mashallah.
Speaking earlier, Alhaji Zikrullah Kule Hassan said the Hajj House is being given a facelift to reflect its status as the headquarters of Hajj management in Africa.
This office is just a beginning, because don't forget that we are the Hajj of Africa. This place is the headquarters, as far as I can say, of the Hajj managers in Africa. You are aware that we are number one in Africa. So anybody who comes to our office should see the image of the best in Africa in us. This is
the NACON boss also
beginning.
reiterated the commitment of the Commission on improving its staff welfare.
But I want to assure you that the admin people are working about the welfare. Me, I want our staff to be able to be proud about what they take home at the end of the day. We are working on this. We need your prayers, but we are not silent on it.
In his remarks at the occasion, NACON Commissioner of Policy, Personnel Management and Finance, Alhaji Nura Hassan Yakase, advised staff, particularly the receptionists, to exhibit professionalism in handling the reception.
To make sure that they use the reception as it's supposed to be used, that is accordingly. We'll make sure that we use it only to receive our visitors when due and the days that visiting day are earmarked. And we also want to make sure that at least the people or the staff that are manning the reception make it a place whereby when our visitors come in, they should know that really the people that are behind the reception are people that are, of course, professional.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, Alhaji Zikrullah Kule Hassan, says the commission will partner with medical professionals in actualizing its plans to establish a staff clinic at Hajj House. The chairman stated this when he hosted on courtesy call the management of Alliance Hospital and Services Limited.
Now we are still at inception stage. We certainly will need to rush to you at the earliest moment for your professional support. More so, this is not our area. We are primarily established to take people to Saudi Arabia. We do not have the competence or expertise of running a medical facility. And we know experts like you will come handy in order to make this possible.
Speaking earlier, Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Otabo Christopher, said the hospital is ready to support NACON in its quest for a clinic at the Hajj House.
Mr. Chairman, I read in the newspapers last week that a decision has been reached by your commission to set up a staff clinic within your office complex. This again is a laudable initiative which is coming at a most auspicious time. The clinic will not only be useful for your esteemed staff members and their families, but will also impact in the health of your teeming clients and neighbors, especially in times of emergencies. If you find it necessary, Mr. Chairman, I wish to offer my professional support on this project, both in terms of design, construction, and management.
NACON and Alliance Hospital Management further discussed on other points of mutual cooperation particularly on Nakan property leased to the hospital at Area 11, Garki, Abuja. The hospital is transforming the property into a befitting medical facility. In other news, staff of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, participated in a 5-day training program. The training, which took place in Kaduna, commenced on Tuesday the 5th and ended on Saturday the 9th of October 2021. It focused on effective communications and report writing.
What the workshop aims to achieve is to equip all those that have attended the workshop on how to write reports, how to source for data using the correct tools, how to communicate effectively, and then how to use those reports to make the activities of the Commission better and more service inclined to the public it serves.
Participants at the workshop expressed gratitude for the opportunity given to them by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, to enhance their knowledge and by extension, their productivity. NACON has made the issue of staff training one of its priorities as a demonstration of its commitment to capacity building. Alhamdulillah, if just tuning in, the program is As You Answer the Call, a public enlightenment presentation that keeps you abreast of the activities of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, and other Hajj-related matters. The National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, is one of the strategic stakeholders of NACON in its digital transformation drive. What are the gains being recorded since the digital transformation policy was introduced? What benefits will be derived by pilgrims and Hajj managers? We have answers to these and other questions in our next segment, Spotlight. Stay with us.
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
In line with the federal government's policies on digital economy, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, and the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, are working together for the successful digitization of Hajj affairs. The strategic plans to transform NACON operations digitally are targeted at achieving the following goals, among others: reduce the cost of Hajj, reduce the duration of stay after Hajj, improve NACON operational efficiency, and increase revenue, as well as transform pilgrims' experience and many more.
We saw that there was a need for Hajj activities, Hajj program, in line with the NITDA requirement that they've set for the nation. There was need for us to also key into it, and that was the idea of transforming from the manual way of running organization to a digital way to now run it as it now required across the globe. So those who have visited Saudi Arabia in recent times will know that everything about Hajj now is digitalized.
And so, since the commencement of the digital transformation at the Hajj House, NACON has put in place various components to make it operational. These components are Hajj Management System, Financial Software System, Digital Economy Center, and Smart Tour Operators System. Others are National Medical Team System, e-Directorate, and Wireless Internet Upgrade.
Now, although we know that there are more for us to also incorporate into it, but we have gone significantly well that today most of our activities are now done digitally. And for example, like this Hajj Management System, the HMS, from there we will have this idea about pilgrim registration. Yes, where pilgrims have to register through the pilgrims of whether tour operators or whether they are from the states. All of them is easier for us to assess at a glance how many pilgrims that we have across this country, Nigeria.
This is the Digital Economy Center at the Hajj House. The center is crucial to the actualization of the digital objectives of NACAN. The Commission and NIDA worked harmoniously to ensure that this structure is in place.
And as I speak to you, that center is providing a lot of services to us. We have been using that center in this recent time to train and retrain our staff on how to handle various equipment that we are deploying to actualize the transformation process that we are driving.
When the Sultan visited the Hajj House sometimes this year, he was impressed with the idea of setting up the Digital Economy Center. Similarly, NACAN is using the digital transformation agenda to consolidate on gains recorded on the electronic medical record.
The electronic medical records, those ones are all there, that where we know exactly what is happening and the nature of, the way we bring in our facilities, medical facilities, personnel and equipments that we will need to use for our Hajj program, especially in Saudi Arabia.
Beyond this, the national medical system is also to be used for processing medical personnel during Hajj.
Through that process, call out to medical doctors who have been fit to be part of our program as medical team to Saudi Arabia. Yes, so from there, all those that are interested will have to register. They will do application through this process. It's electronic. And then from there, we'll receive all the applications. From there, also, we'll reach out a message to them. At a press of button, we would have reached over 2,000 people. And they have the information at the same time. And then they come for screening. And then whatever transaction of information we need to do, we'll all go through that means.
Another important component of the digital transformation program is the e-directorate, which is designed to provide information for the use of pilgrims.
And this e-directory is such that NACON staff and even state pilgrim welfare staff and all our stakeholders at a press of button on this digitization for this program, this module, we are easily laying our hands on their contact. So even with the pilgrims, we are looking for somebody or a group of pilgrims is looking for either their state chairman or secretary or team that brought them. We easily will just go into this e-directory and all the data and the numbers will be out.
NIDA, being the key stakeholder in carrying out the digitalization process, is full of praises for NACAN on the pace at which it is pursuing the digital transformation policy, which in turn has spurred the agency to provide NACAN with the requisite expertise to manage the center.
So NACAN today is applauded by the relevant body, the NIDA, that we are complying to the set down digitization policy. And we are happy about that. And they have, on the strength of that, our compliance, have consistently invited our own body, the team that is helping to drive that process. They have done the training, the Digital Transformation Technical Working Group. They have done several training for them. NIDA has done several training and retraining and workshop for them on how to handle this transformation process that we are driving.
In all, while discharging these responsibilities, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACAN, ensures that all its relevant stakeholders are being carried along.
MashaAllah, you're still watching as you answer the call. Coming up next is Making the Hajj.
Al-Baqi is a cemetery in Medina, which is very close to the Prophet Masjid. It is otherwise known as Jannatul Al-Baqi, or a garden.
Al-Baqi is an Islamic cemetery where...
On Making the Hajj tonight, Imam Sharafuddin Aliagan discusses the histories associated with Baqiya Cemetery.
Al-Baqi, that is Maqbara Al-Baqi. that is Islamic cemetery or Muslim cemetery. It is very close to the mosque. And the Prophet of Islam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, visits this place every now and then, after 33 days. The way he goes to Kuba, he also visits Baqi'. And the first person to be buried inside Al-Baqi' is called Uthman ibn Maz'un, who was the first Muslim to be buried inside Baqi'.
What is expected of pilgrims when they visit Baqiyah?
It is also required when you get there, you make a mark of salutation. Assalamu alaikum ya ahl al-diyar wa inna bikum lahiq wa inna bikum insha'Allah lahiqun. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you, the inhabitant of this place. By Allah's grace, we shall be joined together with you at any point in time.
Pilgrims or visitors are also to seek Allah's forgiveness for those buried in Baqiyah.
You now seek Allah's forgiveness, seek Allah's rahmah for them right there and as a mark of salutation and visitation. It is very Islamic, just like you can visit any other graveyard, like Ashab al-Uhud, the martyrs of Uhud, Shuhada Uhud, is also within the Medina.
Among the prominent people buried in Baqiyah were Al-Hassan, the grandson of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Apart from Umar and Abu Bakr, all other prominent Sahaba were buried in the Baqi'. All the prominent ones you know, because it was established by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, except if any of them died outside Medina. Though Sayyidina Ali was not buried there. He was not buried there. Osman was buried there.
Imam Sharafuddin Ali Agan said Baqiyah could be visited at any time of the day for both male and female.
Every Muslim is a potential pilgrim. To make the Hajj possible for the Ummah, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, is running a Hajj savings scheme through Jaiz Bank. The scheme allows depositors to gradually save for the Hajj over a period of time. Registration into the Hajj savings scheme is ongoing for all Muslims. Muslims wishing to perform Hajj can be enrolled into the scheme through the following outlets: NACON offices across the country, state pilgrims welfare boards, agencies and commissions, any branch of Jaiz Bank in the country. Enrollment can also be done directly by logging into dedicated sites for the scheme. Let's participate and support the Hajj savings scheme for better Hajj services.
Alhamdulillah, up next is the quiz. Welcome to the quiz segment. The question in the last episode was, who is a mu'tamir? The correct answer is the person performing Umrah. The winner is Muhammad Suleiman from Adamawa State. He provided the answer ahead of others. Muhammad Suleiman will be contacted on how NACON will reach him with the prize he won. A quiz winner will get 25,000 Naira cash prize. This is part of NACON's effort in social investment in Nigeria. Now to the quiz for this week. And the question is,